dancing queen, Jamie Lee Curtis, does Prom Night.
Yeah.
So let's just start this. You've picked, this is 1980. You just told me you picked 1981 for our next series of 13.
I did.
Which is kind of funny, and you told me why.
It's Porky's.
There you go. and you didn't like Prom Night.
No, I did not like Prom Night at all.
Did you know that this actually was the way that this was written originally was going to be like a gynecologist murderer?
I did read that.
He rewrote it.
He rewrote
because it was just in bad taste, clearly in bad taste. But it was when I was doing the research on this, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Yeah.
What is wrong with people?
I love Gene Siskel's review of it.
Okay,
he said it was a watered-down version of Halloween and Carrie.
Sure.
And I would have to
absolutely
agree with him.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just like anything today. They're trying to ride on the coattails of everything that's successful.
True.
And we look at, we just talked about Dune off camera, and you didn't like Dune 2. You didn't like it. I did. I thought that it finally brought Dune 1 into a better light. Didn't care for Dune 1. You know, and so those things. And that's, but what I don't like about a lot of these things is they are regurgitating and retelling the stories and things. And while sometimes they do it very well, a lot of times they do it terrible. And so you take a Prom Night, and I totally agree with you, while entertaining to me, Jamie Lee Curtis is entertaining as a young person. Because you look at how her dance moves, are you kidding? That was pretty cool to watch, and you knew it was her. She had no stunt double.
She had no stunt double, and she had to kind of tame it down for Casey, because
which they did. They had to hire a stunt double later.
I can feel bad for the guy. But yeah, they had to kind of dumb it down a little bit for him because he couldn't catch on.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's an amazing dancer. I mean, she's trained, and you know, I liked watching her dance moves.
Yeah.
But did you know that they originally did not want her? They were going to go with Eve Plum, and then she was like, which kind of is funny to me because obviously Eve Plum from the Brady Bunch fame. You know, I was a little bit shocked by that, and I was also shocked when I read at the very end that there were over 20 killer actresses that applied to go for her role.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of them. I like all the A-listers at that time, and the ones that, and then like Lou Diamond. It kind of came down to like Lou Diamond Phillips, and God, who was the other one?
Yeah, I remember seeing Lou Diamond Phillips. Or was that for Lou Diamond Phillips? Was for the next one we're gonna do.
No, he was actually one of them. That at the very end, it was him, and then Sean Penn was also up to the very. So, but I did like the fact that you know, Jamie Lee Curtis's people stepped in and said that she was interested. So obviously they're going to take where the money is. I mean, Jamie is she kills it. I mean, they're going to want her.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact of, you know, look at the pedigree that she comes from.
Right.
You know,
for sure. Yeah. Pedigree. That's an interesting way to put it. I like that. That's fun. The mask that was worn, that Michael Tuff wore in this, he actually has it still.
Wow.
That reportedly he still has.
He still has that.
You know,
wow.
and stuff. That's... Yeah. And some unique things. You know, back then things were done so radically different because they were obviously were trying to make money, but they were also some of these passion projects, I guess you can call them, that people wanted to also put pour into it their passion and things like that. So they do a lot of interesting and weird things. And so one of the actors, he actually was in a car crash, and a pretty bad one. And so he had the idea, because of going through therapy prior to the filming of the movie. Robert Silverman, actually, he put
Mr.
that tape,
Sykes.
the tape over his glasses. He had to do something like that for therapy. So he added that into the film.
Yep, I did remember reading that. What was kind of amazing for me is, okay, so the release date was, July 18th, and the budget that they had was 1.5, and it brought in 14.8. And honestly, I don't know how that's even possible, but also, given credit where credit's due, the movie making of today and the movie making of yesterday is so much better today. So, I suppose at that time, that probably was pretty cool. Now I look back on these old films, I'm like, can't believe that they were box office hits.
Yeah, but what did they have?
True.
Porky's.
But Porky's is great.
We'll get into Porky's. I haven't seen that since I was a teenager, actually, so that'll be fun here in a few weeks.
And it was amazing, too, pretty impressive for a low-budget film like this, the cast. Leslie Nielsen playing the principal, playing Mr. Hammond.
Did someone call in a favor for him?
I did not read anything about that, but it was really weird to see, like, whoa,
yeah,
he's in this?
Yeah.
Casey Stevens obviously only made one more film afterwards, and then he died of AIDS. So,
well, he died in the 90s.
Yeah, he died.
But
yep.
he was obviously ill, so
yep.
he wasn't going to make anything else.
But yeah, and then he's just a buffoon, but I actually kind of liked him. I think his role was kind of vital for this. But Lou.
Okay. Yeah. Why?
I don't know. I just, just kind of that tough guy trying to start stuff. You always got to have that bully.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Yep. And then Anne-Marie Martin, who played Wendy.
Yeah.
Wendy was quite nasty.
Yeah.
She was a mean girl.
Oh, yeah, mean girl for sure. Maybe that's where they got the idea for Mean Girls, huh?
Mm-hmm. She truly was.
Yeah.
But it was amazing how they could make a film of a mass killer stalks 4 classmates on an accidental death and make this a whole movie.
Yeah, not only a whole movie. I mean, it obviously did well enough to get 3 or 4 sequels.
Yeah,
I mean,
4.
how many were 4, right? Yeah.
And part of the trivia is Brock Simpson was the only actor to appear in all 4 of them.
Mm-hmm,
That's pretty okay.
I know.
That's dedication to your film.
Right.
And I love the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis did her own stunts.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty. I kind of knew her background, of course, just from other movies and watching her career. And I was a big fan of True Lies. Mm-hmm. That's really where I like, wow, she's really good.
She was great.
She was great in that. And so I'm like, oh, wow. And so I'd look into what else she did. And
Halloween.
I was like, yeah, I wasn't really into... I mean, I would do what I suppose you could call like the sleepover type scary movie stuff with buddies and things as a young teenager, but I never really got into some of that until I got older, quite a bit older, really. And so when True Lies came out, I didn't really know a lot about her. And so when you look into her and some of her background and stuff, and then watch Prom Night probably around that time in the early 90s, there was that out in 94 or something. And I was like, wow, and so that was the first and last time I had seen it until we did this review. And but to learn that she did all those stunts and the dance, and it was just remarkable. It was very, very good.
What I love about her is she's such a versatile actress. Not only does she do the horror pretty believably, Freaky Friday fame. She can do it. She can throw herself into a comedy role, and she can throw herself in a dramatic role.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of that all-around actress.
Yeah.
I don't think she gets enough credit for the work that she has done.
Yeah, I think part of that is probably some of her ideas publicly got kind of weird. I mean, even to Hollywood standards.
Yes. Yes.
And Hollywood standards, all the things that are coming out, even in this last week. I don't know if you've read any of that, but Nickelodeon, some of the stuff that's come out in the last week or two.
No, I haven't.
As we're recording. Amanda Bynes, which there's been
wreck.
trouble. Yeah. But some of that has now been proven, sexually assaulted multiple times, all the time. Drake,
yes.
That has now been proven.
Wow, okay.
And that's all really taken, the legitimacy of that has taken a hold in just the last week or two. And so, and it just keeps rolling. So ultimately, for her to not be completely ostracized by Hollywood, but definitely Hollywood to kind of turn their back on her, you knew her ideas were kind of wild. And so I agree, she doesn't get credit for her ability. And it's too bad that sometimes our ability should just stay in the spotlight, not our ideas.
True.
True. So,
however,
it's her ideas, and that's fine. But they're not normal.
No, and the kicker is kind of like what we talked about when we reviewed Popeye. Shelley Duvall, she's always going to be typecasted into a certain role.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Which we found out with Halloween Forever. She came back to do that, and probably because there was not a lot of acting coming her way.
Yes.
So
However, I really did enjoy her and now I'm not going to remember what it was, but she did something fairly recently that I thought was really good. It was something, what was it called? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, or something like that. I don't know if you saw that, but the guy, the kid from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was in it.
Oh.
Short Round. He was in it. Obviously now as an adult, but this just came out a couple years ago or something.
Which kid?
Short Round was the driver, Indiana Jones driver with the blocks on his feet and the Temple of Doom, remember?
Yep, okay. Now
he was in it, and I think, what's her name? Was it Michelle? Let me see if I can find it. But, she's very talented, extremely talented, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Michelle Yeoh was in it. And if you get a chance to watch it, it's kind of mind-blowing. You got to really follow it.
Okay.
But it's really, I thought it was fun. But I was on an airplane, maybe. Anything was fun at that time, I guess. But probably watching in a different setting it'd be different. But anyway, she's just extremely talented. You look at through history, Van Gogh was psychotic. An incredible artist.
Most artists are.
They're just not good. So anyway, it is what it is. She made, I think, I can't say single-handedly, but I don't have a lot more to say about Prom Night other than she made this film. If it weren't for her talent, even though, some of the other people you had mentioned, if it wasn't for her talent, this would have gone nowhere.
If it wasn't her name.
Right.
Yeah. And
her talent. I mean, she was the only one, not the only one, but she definitely stood out as the main actress in the film, with ability.
One of the critics of it said they weren't impressed because she was much older
than everybody else.
Yeah, she wasn't.
Okay.
She wasn't believable as a high school.
Sure.
Because when she was doing this film, she was 21 years old, and the rest of them were 18. She kind of came off as an older.
Yeah. No, I can see that. In looking at it in a retrospective, like we kind of are, we're looking at it way in the future.
That
I can see that, but at the time. However, nowadays, I mean, that's pretty common. They just, I don't know, whatever, do a good job of.
One of the things I
leveling
found
out.
was interesting too is the van that they used went off the cliff, but it was actually stolen by the stunt coordinator.
So is that, I didn't verify, that's legit, huh? Oh my gosh. That's
I
like
went
what
through
we
two
talked
different
about Mad
sites and I
Max,
was
yeah.
like, what?
Like Mad Max stole stuff and then they returned it
Yeah.
the next
No,
night.
he's
That's
stolen by the stunt coordinator.
unbelievable.
It's like, okay. I had to look at that, and I went on one site, and then I looked on another site for trivia, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yep, all right. There's
you go. There you go. So should we dial the phone number that was in here?
Yeah, can you believe that there is an actual live,
Yeah, it's
phone number.
supposedly. I'm
and
really
it actually
gonna do
goes
it.
to the parks. It actually goes to the park and recreational building.
In Ohio, it says, right? Let's see what we get. Here we go, folks. There it is. Fax machine.
Yep.
Good old. They still have fax machines.
They still have.
2024. Isn't that crazy? I had to do that.
You had to do that. That would not. Yes, perfect. Yes, it was 1 hour and 32 minutes, and it was, yeah.
So, a Throwback Thursday, that's the whole idea, is to really look back and say, does it hold up? There's 10 years ago, I said some of the Matrix stuff holds up. Today, I wouldn't say. The first Matrix does,
that
for
will.
sure.
That will.
But
The stuff after?
certainly Revolutions, I don't think I would, if I looked, I haven't seen that in probably 10 years even, or close. But I would not say that holds up, now.
Especially the last one.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah. Oh, the very last
The
one.
very last one.
Oh, yeah, that didn't hold up 5 minutes after they made it.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves looks a little less for wear there, and
Yeah.
Carrie.
I think that was purposeful.
Because they're aging, obviously.
Right, and I think was written into the script that way, and I think they even made him look older than he really looks, which is interesting. But yeah, I was disgusted by that one, frankly.
Yeah,
Cash in on it, that's it.
I remember the first time The Matrix came out, and I was like, wow, this is awesome.
I mean, they invented tons of stuff
So
to
cool.
make that.
It's so cool. And, the bros are now girls.
Right.
But that's whatever. But yeah, after the first Matrix, I was, to give it justice, I did end up watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
But, it's like any other movie. They should actually just quit after they have a first thing. But it's to make to make money.
Yeah, and I think to me the second one, Matrix Revolutions, right? Revolutions? I don't know. I'd have to look. But I think to me that one told more of the story that we needed to hear, but they didn't need to make the third one for sure.
No.
But yeah, I agree. It was no. Anyway, this is fun. I don't know if you're having any fun.
It
or
is.
Not,
I'm having fun.
I'm having fun, man.
Just honestly, it is kind of cool to go back into time, and even as painful as that was, it still has its place in movie history.
Sure.
It's still going to go in the vault. It's
Yeah.
still going to pop up. People are going to watch it on Paramount, or they're going to, it's still part of the movie industry history. So you got to give it credit.
Yeah, and it's going to be one of those things from, when they made it in 79, released late 79, I believe, or early 80, whatever. We're looking at 1980 as a box office specifically, so what it did in box office in 1980, but not necessarily release dates. And so with that, it's not going to ever hold up. It'll hold up as one of those cultural movies, but it'll never hold up to say some of the stuff that, like the Matrix in '99, that they invented things and and stuff, but a cultural weird classic.
But there again, we're in a different time.
Yeah.
Movie making of the past to the movie making of now.
Yeah.
Pretty great now
Yeah.
because there's more gimmicks. There's more.
Yeah.
There's more things, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. Like with Mad Max, I love the fact that the guy's risking his life for his craft. Here, you can do a green screen and just kind of do that.
The passion.
Just make your mark.
Yeah. The passion is not the same.
So the movie making is not the same.
Yeah.
And I do miss the old school where they're really out in the trenches.
It's like risk
doing it.
taking,
Yes.
legitimate risk taking. It's financial risk taking now, but it was like literal life risk.
Life. Yes.
And that pours a lot into it. Then
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I mean that
it's fun.
is as bad as I didn't really like Mad Max. I appreciated the passion that went into making that because it was all grassroots from the ground. There wasn't gimmicks.
Yeah.
It was just honest to God, we're using real people.
Yep.
We're not doing a green screen where we can make 1,000 people.
Well, it's even like Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
They did that. Even though that wasn't that long ago, the late '90s.
Yep.
They still use real people and some CGI stuff, but mainly all those extras.
Yeah.
Was
But I appreciate
incredible.
that.
Yeah.
You look at some of the sets and just watching Game of Thrones and looking back at the previews of that where they used everything was just right there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I appreciate
Good stuff.
I appreciate movie making like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, let us know what you think. Comment below or beside or wherever. And you can also email us at legitq@maddysmoviemix.com, where that just ensures I'm going to see the email. It's not going to get posted anywhere. I'm not going to send you a reply. I mean, I might say thank you, but I'm not going to try to sell you anything or put you on a list or whatever. But social media, I've told you this, it's hard to keep up with sometimes. So the emails, it goes right to me. So we look forward to hearing from you. What else do you have?
Nothing. It was great. Despite the fact that I don't really care for the movie, it's still fun to talk about the fact that I don't care about the movie.
And you can. See you next time.
Bye.
Hammer the share button. Go ahead and hammer out a comment to us. Go ahead and hammer the like button. Go ahead and hammer the subscription button. Go ahead and hammer the notification bells, because you know what? That's the best way you can support us. We appreciate it.